All right, today I am going to work on repairing my Fitness Reality bench. Hey, this is Greg with Discovering Strength, the channel focused on all things garage gym. If you like what you see, consider subscribing below. All right, so I have the Fitness Reality 1000 bench, and I've had it for many years, and all in all, it's been pretty good as especially a low profile adjustable weight bench. But over the years, and actually just as it got shipped out here to me, the back has broken. So in today's video, I am going to pull all of this off, and I am gonna replace the backrest with a new board and then put all the upholstering and everything back on it. All right, so looking at how this is attached, it looks pretty simple to me. There's only a few bolts that I will need to remove. Looks like 2 on top, 2 on the bottom, and then I should be able to pull that off and go from there. All right, so I removed the back, and now I'm gonna go ahead and take the upholstery off so I can get to the board itself. All right, so I was able to separate the top, the upholstery piece. I'll show you how it looks here. So you've got the little piece of, I guess, foam, and that is glued to a little, I don't know, top kind of memory foam. Does seem very cheap, very thin. It's not the highest quality piece here, but you've got that covered with the upholstery. So I did my best to remove that without damaging it too much so I can reattach it. And then on the bottom of all that, then you've got just this piece of wood. And it's pretty thin itself. I'd say that that's maybe a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch thick. You can see it's the wood here that has broken. So now I'm just gonna take off the black piece covering that so I can get down to the wood itself. All right, so I was able to get down just to the piece of wood, and you can see how thin that really is. So that's probably one of the weakest parts of the bench. And it's got these little screws here to be able to attach it to the rest of the bench. So I'm gonna try to get these things out. Then I'm gonna use this board itself as my template to trace around to cut out the replacement piece. All right, so this is the piece of plywood that I'm gonna use to replace the board. I can compare a little bit here. This is the piece that broke off. But you can kind of see in terms of how thick it is. It's about the same thickness, I think. I think that this plywood is probably a little stronger than this stuff. This looks more like pressed cardboard, I would say. So we'll go ahead and trace this out. So I traced out the original piece of wood. You can see along there. And I also marked where the holes were for the screws. So I'll need to pop those in there as well. All right, so now we'll go ahead and just cut this thing out. I've got this battery powered circular saw. That's what I'm going to use to cut it out. All right, so just cut out that piece of wood. It looks now pretty similar to the original. And the next thing I got to figure out is the holes for the screws. This has kind of this unique thing here that they used. It looks like that may be hammered in. So I think I'm going to need to figure out the right size to drill this hole. And I'll drill the holes onto this board. And I'm going to try to get these out. I think they're just hammered in, so I'll try to pry those out and see if I can replace them onto the replacement board. All right, so I was able to pop these little screw things out. This will allow me to screw the other screws into this. And as you can see, it's got kind of these little things that are sort of just like little nails that would adhere it to the board. So I was able to just knock these out by using a hammer and a flathead screwdriver. And I just sort of put it in there and knocked them out. I'm going to make sure that the holes are right size over on this board so that I can attach them over there and go from there. All right, so I was able to get those in there. So I should have them in the right spots. We'll go ahead and now try to take this back in, add the upholstery, and then reattach it. All right, so now I'm gonna take the upholstery stuff that I already had. I'm just gonna staple it back in place and reassemble. So this is what I've got so far. I've reattached most of the upholstery. There's a little trim that goes around over all the staples. I think I'm going to put that on once I attach it to the bench, so it might be a little easier for me. So we'll go from there. So here is the finished product. I was able to replace everything, get all of the upholstery back on there. Looks pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with it. So all in all, it was not the easiest thing in the world, time consuming. Yeah, it took me 2 to 3 hours probably to do it all. It took me a little while to just prepare and get the materials. But it didn't cost me very much money. I think it cost me maybe $8 for the replacement board, and a few miscellaneous items, staples, etc. So pretty cheap fix, but it did take me some time. If you've got any questions on how I did any of this, please let me know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.